this is not your field. You're not a doctor.
No, but I'm a scientist. Excuse me. Science matters.
Of course it does.
But sometimes you don't sound that way. That's why I worry.
I checked it. He believes in dragons. He believes in dragons. Did you triple force that? Yes, I did.
So it's like there's a group of people that say that dragons were real.
There's a group of people.
Okay, so there's a scientist by the name of Neil Tyson who goes on to Bill Maher's show last night. And in my opinion, he gets humiliated because he's one of those woke individuals who thinks just because they know everything about science, it also qualifies them to talk about vaccine. Also, Donna Brazil, who's this old school Democrat strategist, still won't accept why they lost the election. And Joe Rogan mocks The View. So we're going to look into all of these stories and more in this video. But let's start with Neil Tyson refusing to accept that it's okay to question vaccines. Check this out.
I'm trying to put credit back to doctors where our life expectancy is 3 times what it was 150 years ago. And everyone before 150 years ago
but lower than the rest
organic. And half of them died before they were 35. Yeah, science matters.
Of course it does.
But sometimes you don't sound that way. That's what worries me.
Well, actually, you're the guy. You're the guy who doesn't understand why the NBA team can't beat the Lakers. So I don't know. You're supposed to be the scientist, and you couldn't even admit that. And as far as medicine goes, I could talk to you this about all day. But again, we do have a party to get to. This is not your field. You're not a doctor.
No, but I'm a scientist. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's not a doctor.
No, hold on.
That's not a doctor.
I'm a scientist who knows probabilities,
when
statistics.
I get a goiter on Uranus, I'll call you.
No, don't call me. But when it's time to...
So the reason why I want to play this clip first out of the gate is because Neil Tyson is what's wrong with the science community today. They've gone woke. So they've forgotten about common sense. In fact, he's the type of person that says that what Elon Musk is doing is nothing special. He's the type of person that believes a WNBA team could beat an NBA team. He's the type of person that does believe there's more than 2 genders. And he's also the type of person that believes that women can compete with men when it comes to athletics. So I don't think I need to go any deeper. I think you know exactly what his thinking is today, but he wasn't always that way. Again, I throw him in the category of like a Howard Stern. These people we looked up to when we were growing up, but then all of a sudden they got infected by the woke mind virus and they're not the same individuals. They've lost all common sense. Okay, so this next clip, which was also on the Bill Maher show that same night, is Donna Brazil, like I told you guys, who's this old school Democrat strategist. She doesn't want to see the light when it comes to why they lost this election. And Bill Maher gives her a brutal reality check. Listen.
The big issue, right? Was immigration. And
inflation, immigration.
Those two are very big issues. And you asked Vice President Harris, why did you let all these people in for the last 4 years? She did not have an answer. I still don't know the answer. They actually could, with an executive order, shut it down as they did earlier this year. So why did they not do it 3 years earlier? And I think people felt she did not respond to that in any way. She had no answer on inflation, and she also seemed to represent that whole woke zone that people are sick to death of. And I think those three did it.
I agree with the first two, because immigration, as I said, inflation was something. The Biden-Harris administration, they wrestled with that through the supply chain, through trying to lower the cost, making sure that people could afford their groceries and their gas. But still, childcare became a big issue, housing, the cost of housing. So while I do believe that they made significant gains, there's no question immigration became an issue. But I'm not going to get into this, oh, the people are too damn woke. That wasn't an issue. What happened?
Yeah, it was.
I disagree with you.
I know, and that's why you're going to keep losing.
No, man, look.
I mean, it's not to go. Okay. But not to go back to the
white.
And I totally agree with them. That's why they will continue to lose, because the only way to solve a problem is to acknowledge that there is one, right? They are not acknowledging that being woke is a problem, okay? They're not acknowledging that men playing in women's sports is a problem. They don't want to accept it. But the fact of the matter is, one of the most effective ads that ran during the election cycle from the Trump campaign was what? Kamala Harris is for they, them, Trump is for you. Okay, so before I get to this whole Joe Rogan mocking The View, We are on vacation right now, but I still want to ask you, if you're getting value from this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you want to support us further, go to the link in the description below and shop the merch store or buy us a cup of coffee. Now, Joy Behar just thinks she knows everything, right? The View, the ladies, they think they know it all. I want you guys to check out this video where she accuses Joe Rogan of believing in dragons. I know.
This guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons. Did you triple source that? Yes, I did.
There's a group of people that say that dragons were real.
There's a group of people
that say that dragons were real. I'm not one of these people, so I'm probably going to get the details wrong. And I'm not one of these people, so I'm probably going to get the details wrong. But so around the same time period in, you know, China, South America, Africa, all these different, Rome, all these places, images depicted people fighting dragons, right? And every dragon was slightly different, but it was all a giant scaly animal that could fly. Large birds had a hard time being fossilized because their bones are so porous, right? So because bones, they have like hollowish bones, they break down very easily and they don't fossilize. The group that says this, basically they're saying the evidence is the reason there's no fossils of dragons is because they had bird bones and they were actually very delicate animals. But a handful of these small population of these giant flying lizards existed and basically encompassed all these different countries where they all depicted fighting dragons in their own way, and they were all killed off by, you know, knights or whatever it is, and then didn't fossilize.
Okay, so as you guys saw, that's his guest on his podcast discussing the idea that there are people who believed in dragons, not discussing that they believe in dragons. But wait a minute, Joy, you triple sourced that, didn't you? Aren't you the person who believes that misinformation is a problem, but you are yourself spreading misinformation? Yeah, let's continue. Check this out.
I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons. Did you triple source that? Yes, I did.
So it's like the science is saying that if there were lizards big enough to fly around and eat people, they didn't have bones that could fossilize.
So it'd be like an eagle.
Right.
And he also thinks that dragons, like I guess like dinosaur type of animals, roamed the earth when people did.
Now, are there any stories of dragons like written like in the times of people that they actually had the written word, or is it just depictions?
I don't know. Not my field.
I checked it.
Are these depictions like ancient accounts told by generation after generation, like passed down?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know anything about dragons or whether it's real. I don't know. I don't know anything about dragons or whether it's real, but I think it's interesting to think, oh, well, the science supports that if there were flying lizards, their bones wouldn't have fossilized, and these have been passed down, stories that have been exaggerated and passed down from generation to generation.
So this is the type of really, really bad information that's going out there.
So bad information that's going out there. Someone saying that they believe in dragons is bad information, people. Is that where we're at as a society? If someone truly wants to believe that dragons are real or dragons did exist, good for them. It's called free speech, right? I mean, geez, they think Joe Rogan is this news podcast. No, it's a podcast where they talk about everything in a conversational manner. He's not reporting the news, okay? I just find it so funny that they have a hard-on for this guy for some reason. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because he endorsed Donald Trump. There it is. No wonder they give him attention now. Well, as a result, Joe Rogan took some time out to mock The View by changing his bio on the X platform to Dragon Believer. Check this out. All right, so with his 14 million followers, he, as you can see, updated his bio to Dragon Believer as a way to troll The View here, of course. And then he also posted that episode, which was titled, "Were Dragons Real Animals?" ? He's not saying that they, and then of course he did respond to it being posted, which is why he updated his bio there. And then check this out for your, I guess, viewing pleasure here. He put, someone put, imagine a large prehistoric lizard with 4 chambered stomachs like a cow. Methane from chambers 3 and 4 feed into lung like holding bladders that vent from pits beneath the tongue. And what this person is doing is describing a dragon pretty much, right? And then Joe Rogan responds by saying, "I want to believe." And I think he's just trolling them at this point, because then right after that, he posted this link to a full documentary, Evidence Dragons Were Real. right? So, I mean, this guy, he's having fun with them. Okay, so if we check out the comment section here, I think some of these comments are actually pretty funny. Okay, so one person wrote, quote, "I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News." This is what Joy was saying. And then this person responded by saying, "Yeah, but nobody trusts ABC News," which we would all agree. And then Colin Rugg writes, "We are backed by ABC News. That's why we can be trusted." Clowns. Exactly. I mean, just because ABC is a part of it doesn't mean it's credible. And then somebody put, "Here's what podcasts are doing to mainstream media." Which is burning them into pieces, of course. So listen, Joy's embarrassing lie about Joe Rogan is another example of the left-wing media spreading misinformation, right? And at the same time, they accuse others of doing it. I just find that to be so interesting, right? However, Joe Rogan is not the one. I mean, he's really quick to clap back. And so I thought it was great for him to switch up his bio like that. Now, this next story is nothing new, but again, it just shows you how out of touch these people really are. Jasmine Crockett, who is a congresswoman, is tripling down on her DEI rhetoric and stating that the biggest beneficiaries of DEI, it's not actually black people, it's white women.
They are trying to dismantle our civil rights in front of us. And it's really, really sad. And so I am hoping that we will be united, not only in the House, but in the Senate. And it would be nice if we could find the backbone of some Republican to stand with us, hopefully one that is of color. And the final point that I'll make is that the biggest beneficiaries of DEI as well as affirmative action have been white women. So at least maybe one white woman can stand with us Democrats and make sure that we stop this harmful and divisive rhetoric that we see happening, that they are now trying to turn into actual bills.
Okay, so before I get into my intelligent opinion, let me just troll her a little bit here, right? And maybe this might be immature, but just bear with me. Can you just look at her eyelashes, please? I mean, I don't understand why you go onto a network live and you do this whole rant about DEI, but you don't even check your eyelashes. I mean, they look like they're about to fall off. I mean, what's going on here, right? And so again, that might be me being petty, but hey, she's as petty as you can get, by the way. Now, let's move to my intelligent take on this. What Jasmine Crockett just did was expose her ignorance and race baiting tendencies, right? White women are the biggest beneficiaries. Please show me the data on that, please, right? Anyways, it just shows you how race hustlers like Jasmine Crockett loves to use identity politics, which we know. DEI programs have cost billions of dollars while failing to deliver results that actually are impactful, right? Which has been feeling a huge backlash against corporate and obviously government organizations. So right now we're seeing one happening right now with the whole Jaguar rebrand, right? They've gone completely woke, but critics argue that DEI's focus on quotas and identity undermines merit-based systems, harming workplace performance and unity. So it actually ends up doing the opposite of what their intentions are, which brings me to my overall summary of progressive ideals. Great intentions, bad outcomes every single time. Okay, so this next story I find to be enjoyable, entertaining, and funny. This is in regards to Mika, who is a co-host of the Morning Joe MSNBC show, which is obviously any day now will probably be canceled. Here she is explaining herself on why she went to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Trump. And then later, I'm going to show you what Megyn Kelly had to say about all this, but I think you're going to find it really entertaining. Watch.
That in these fraught times, I do think that we are in an environment, no matter how it started, where everyone's talking at each other, at cameras, on their typewriters. That's how old I am. I say typewriter, but you know what I mean, using their keyboards, talking at each other. And I do believe, and this doesn't just apply to Donald Trump, it applies to anybody in his administration, any Republican, that it's time to start talking face to face, on the record, on background, reconnecting. And it doesn't have to be easy. It doesn't have to be fun. It's not supposed to be. It's our job. So for us, it absolutely felt like the right thing to do because it is our job. And I've actually been really surprised at the reaction. I've heard from a lot of people in my phone, people that I respect a great deal, leaders, people I don't usually hear from who are really powerful, who just wanted to let me know that that was the right thing to do. And then I have seen, just like the very opposite happening online. Some of it is part of the problem I'm talking about right now. I've heard from reporters by reading about myself, and none of them ever called me. That's the problem. I regret talking about people and not to them.
One or two things. One, she's full of shit, because this is the same person who obviously was calling Trump a fascist, a Nazi, a racist, Hitler, and all these other things. So the only question that really matters in that scenario, did you say that to his face when you met with him, right? Do you still believe that today? I think that is a legitimate question that she needs to answer to people, right? Because I don't know how genuine she really is, which leads me to maybe scenario number two. Maybe, just maybe, she's forced to do this because she doesn't have a choice. It's either make amends with Trump or you guys are done, right? And we've already had a video talking about all this, which brings me to why I brought this video up, because here's Megyn Kelly, I think, dragging Mika in such an epic way. And it actually went viral on social media where some people didn't even understand why Megyn Kelly was doing what she was doing. I do, but she was pretty much mocking Mika and her beliefs about feminism. Check this out.
Do you remember?
She's an idiot. That's the other thing. She's a dope. Yes. And by the way, she's constantly lecturing us about women's rights. Like she's progressive. I forgot to tell you today, I do not have my black stretchy pants on. I have the full sweatpant on today, Paul Marie. I'm just going to be honest. And I need to disclose this because it's a visual. So this Miss champion, Miss Feminist, they were on the cover of, was it New York Magazine 10 years ago? And you have a picture of the two of them where Joe Scarborough is like this. I think he might have his feet up on the table. It's like a power pose for him. And she is up there. This isn't, I'm not dressed for this, but I'm going to show you. Okay.
Yeah, commit. Thank you.
Oh! Yes. Like this. Oh my God, I should not be doing this. That's what she did. And he's sitting there in the power position like, yeah, do it, baby. Pose. Show him your brain. So I am so over her pictures about women's rights and empowerment and rapist this. You're full of shit. And we all know it.
All right. So I have to show you the photo that she was pretty much mocking. This is a photo shoot a while ago. All right. Many years ago of her making fun of Mika and Joe. So there you go. Right. Who are they fooling? OK, we don't believe anything that Mika or Joe Scarborough says, because these people, they've been calling Trump and his supporters derogatory names since day one. And now you want us to believe you've seen the light. Come on. Hopefully you guys got some entertainment out of that. I applaud Megyn Kelly for giving us a little laugh there. All right, so let me kick it over to you guys. What do you guys think about Neil Tyson, who's a woke scientist, and how he got humiliated by Bill Maher, which he's also unhinged himself. But when Bill Maher is the guy that's actually setting you straight, I think you really have problems, right? Let me know what your thoughts are about that exchange in the comment section. What about the fact that Joe Rogan mocked Joy Behar from The View because she actually believes that he believes in dragons, and to the point where he updated his bio to troll her, but she triple sourced it, right? And she's not the spreader of misinformation. Tell me what you guys think about that. And then also this Megyn Kelly story in the comment section below. Okay, so another crazy story that dropped yesterday was Elon Musk flirting with the idea of buying MSNBC, which has people freaking out, of course. Don Jr. and Joe Rogan, again, trolls in MSNBC in the process. Also, Joy Reid freaks out and says that Trump is going to direct the military to shoot American citizens. I know these stories are insane, but if you want to check out that video, all you have to do is click on it because it's coming up right now.